All right, here we go. We're on the run. Couple stop and starts there. Forgot to take my beanie hat off first, and then I forgot to zip up my pants here, but we are on the move. Absolutely gorgeous day out here today. I'm running here in the Craft Xplor Pro. I've only gotten a couple quick test runs in this shoe. I received them along with the Nordlight Ultra Pro, so I focused on that shoe, being that I actually did race that one for the 50K distance over at Mammoth Trailfest. I'm coming back to these now as I'm in more of a cruisy period within my yearly training calendar. I think it's also pretty good timing because if you've been paying attention to my recent videos, I have learned some new lacing tricks that are definitely applicable to this shoe here. If you have not seen those videos yet, take a look at the custom insoles episode with the Mount Coast H1 and also the fall running gear episode. I show in detail a couple of little lacing tricks that I'm going to re-demonstrate here, specifically with the Xplor Pro. Alright, so this is the setup I've got going on here. I talked about in those videos how you can vary your lacing and the tensioning specifically between the lower and mid-upper layers, rows of your lacing here, and I thought this would be the perfect one because in my first test runs, it's a volume upper and I want to get this kind of tight around my foot. Definitely with the Ultra Pro, I have a more, it seems to map better to my foot. This one seems wider and my foot is kind of in there, but it doesn't seem as dialed around my foot as the Nordlight Ultra Pro model here. But when I'm running in this shoe, I just felt like let's look at the right shoe first. This is my standard lacing. I feel like when I tighten it down, I want to have it really locked in because it doesn't feel as secure. But as I tighten it down, I do get that squeeze. You saw what happened there. Get a little squeeze around the ball of the foot, and this is something the shoemaker in Germany was very adamant about and something that I also agree with. You don't want this squeezed. So if I want to get this shoe as tight as I want to have it, as secure as I want to have it, you see how that pinches here, and I have noticed slight numbness, slight kind of overly squeezing my foot in my initial test runs. That leads me to kind of backing off the tightness around here where I want it, and then I just don't overall have a very secure fit as I would like to have, and then the shoe doesn't perform as well for me. Let's move over to this shoe. I have a double lacing over here. Now this is a technique I showed with my Keen Seek video. I actually tied a little knot here. That's one way to do it. You can tie a knot somewhere in the lower rows before you continue on your lacing, and that keeps a looser tension on those rows, and then you could just really ratchet down the top as you like. This kind of does the same effect here. When you loop over the eyelet twice, it kind of locks it in. So you could see I have this one pretty tight over here, but then just below that double loop over that I did, it's actually quite loose, and this is really improving the fit and feel and going forward the ride of this shoe for me. Let's go ahead and do that here. Just completely unlace it here. You could kind of decide where you want to do it. I think I tested the other one on this eyelet here. I didn't try it down here, but that seems a little bit too low. I kind of want to keep this whole section a little bit looser. So what you want to do is, first of all, you want to go over the top for sure rather than under from the bottom. So you kind of want to determine how loose of a feel. You might want to tighten this up a little bit, but not too much. So get the right kind of feel. And then you're going to go over the top here, straighten that out. I kind of want to have it nice and, I think, flat, so it gives a good lock. And do the same on the other side just to start. Now, I've got this tension kind of how I want it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around once again through the same eyelet and then pull that tight right away. You see how it's not pulling this lace right here. The fact that it's looping around, it's really holding that. So you see how this upper is pulling, but this lace is not moving at all. That's what I'm going for here. Do the same thing on the other side here. same thing. See, I could pull this, squeeze this around the middle of my foot, and I'm not getting any tension here. So let's carry on our lacing. Now you can vary over under as you like. There are slight differences. I have gotten some kind of calls to talk about laces. Also, I think I would kind of loop in lacing techniques if I were to do that. By the way, these are super thin laces from Craft here. I'm kind of questioning what they got going on here. They are 100% recycled, so I'll give them that, but these are some of the thinnest laces out there. So this is what I want to have. With this shoe in particular, I don't want this squeeze because it was giving me problems, but it's a volume fit. I find it to be a high volume upper, so for my foot, I really want to dial this down. So look how tight I can get it from here up while keeping this super comfortable and loose. I did the same thing with my Keen Seek. I did get a question in the comments if you need the knot plus this over loop technique, and I guess the answer is no. So I kind of did the knot initially, but I find that kind of pulls the laces up a little when you do the knot. Doing it at the eyelet seems to work better. So here I am. Now I got both shoes set up and they feel much better now, much more secure. I feel really like I couldn't get this one as tight again. Now I feel super dialed, but not squeezed. Now the Xplor Pro is not a lightweight model here. 12 ounces, 340 grams. That is in my size US 10. After testing the Nordlight Ultra 2 and the Nordlight Ultra Pro, it's fairly certain that I need to go up a half size in Craft from 9.5 to 10. But I thought, being that there's so much volume in this one, maybe I could potentially go true to size. But now with this lacing technique, pretty much solved that. I definitely want the length of the 10 here, but without the squeezing that I have solved here with this lacing. For that weight, you do get 40 millimeter measured at the heel with a 6 mil spec drop, so that gives me 40-34 stack. You've got Craft's PX foam here, which is a TPE foam similar or within the Pebax family. I believe they note that it should be more durable than Pebax and of course more durable than EVA. On the run, I do get the feeling that there's a resilience to it and not a kind of compression that is going to stay that way. Sometimes with an EVA, you feel that softness where your foot kind of sinks in and you don't get the sense that the midsole is springing back as quickly. Here it's a little different. Heavy shoe, lots of foam, super wide base of course, but it does feel like it's rebounding quickly back into form every time you strike the ground. I think this shoe is going to work well for heavier runners due to the relative weight factor. It's a heavier shoe, less of a factor with heavier runners, and I think the foam itself is going to be more durable and resilient if you're putting more weight and force into it. That was something I did in fact talk to runners about over at Mammoth Trailfest. Talked to a few, self-proclaimed heavier runners, bigger guys than me, and they said that they really love the shoe, whereas I was obviously trying to talk up the Nordlight Ultra Pro, thinking that I had just raced in it in 50K, but I heard a lot of comments to the effect that the shoe was just super solid, super stable on the ground, and I could definitely see that for those types of runners. For me personally, it definitely does still feel heavy. I mean, it's a 12-ounce shoe in a US 10. It's on the high side, so just be aware of what you're getting into. Again, you have that big, huge stack, 40-34, and that massive Vittoria rubber gravel bike tire inspired outsole. We had a little rain the past few days. Trails are pretty dried out by now, but slight sandy terrain, damp, loose gravel, of course, rocks. I found that this outsole really grabs and contours pretty well. You don't have a disconnect between, say, the front and the rear of the shoe as you do with the Nordlight Ultra Pro. Exposed midsole foam in the middle there. This one, you've got that tread, so to speak, from heel to toe. So you can be sure that you're not gonna slip on anything anywhere under the foot, at least not due to lack of rubber coverage. I've got the UltrAspire Mountain Racer waist pack on again today. Really liking it so far. Got a little shorter hose here. I did forget my magnet clip though, so it's not really a problem. I kind of tucked it into this pocket here, and actually that probably works better even. Kind of pull it over the top here, and then I can just stuff it in there as much as I need to. I love having the bottle back there. Really great, especially on a kind of weather day like today. It's pretty cool, kind of like on the edge of needing, say, a light kind of hoodie like this, Airshed Pro from Patagonia here, or being just in a t-shirt. That would probably feel a little bit too cold. I probably could get away with that if I was doing a workout or something. But with the waist belt, I'm able to kind of eliminate that extra sweat around the torso. If I'm wearing this, it feels like it could be slightly too warm for this temperature, especially with the solar exposure out here today. Clear sky. But I don't have that sweatiness around my torso. Good cold to go with a waist pack here. I loaded up a couple extra gels from TheFeed.com here. A company called Z2. To tell you the truth, I have no idea about that brand, if they're any good or not. TheFeed is great because they've got that hot deals section, and sometimes they throw up little deals when you check out, which, you know, with other brands can, or other websites, could be an annoyance. But with TheFeed, they typically throw you stuff where it's like, oh, a couple of protein powder packs for $2 or 4 gels for $4. And I'm like, okay, well, why not? I mean, studies show that once the carbs and stuff get into your system, it's all processed the same. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be doing that on race day, obviously, but for a run here and there, try something new. Pay $1 or less per gel. Save yourself some bucks. Why not? Use my referral code, save 10% more. Why not? Look at these fall conditions here. Wow. This is a super nice day out today. Look at the colors. Man, this lacing has completely transformed this shoe for me. Absolutely. I was pretty down on it. The weight and the fact that I couldn't really get the fit I wanted without it being uncomfortable. I don't necessarily mind a 12-ounce shoe as long as it feels good on the run, and this one does now. So that lacing technique may not be for all of you. If you've got the shoe and or other shoes and they just fit fine, you don't have any issues feeling squeezed at the forefoot, don't worry about it. You're lucky, you don't have to deal with that. But that could be something that makes a light bulb go off in your head, that some shoes you might have discounted could maybe use some different lacing strategies to bring them back to life. Save your investment. Definitely feeling more confident running in this shoe now. Stuff like that when I had the upper a little bit looser, when the fit wasn't as good. I've often talked about fit sometimes being king in any shoe. Like, it could make a possibly objectively not as good shoe feel better than another shoe if it just fits your foot better. And it's definitely helping me out here. Speaking of crisp fall weather here, I pulled these rabbit runner pants out of the dirty hamper. You saw them in my Gorewear Concurve jacket / mountain racer review. The weather here is just perfect for these, and I didn't have time to wash them yet, so I felt like shorts might be a little cold. I'm really loving these rabbit runners here. I think, early returns, of course, but they may be my favorite running pant. Not a tight, I'm not a big tights guy, but I do have a few different pant options, and this one is really feeling like the best, honestly. The material here is just very light and stretchy. I just love it. It doesn't feel heavy at all, and the stretch, especially around the thighs, upper legs, really good. I don't feel restricted anywhere around there, and I don't feel like it's, again, I don't like it tight, so I don't feel like it's tight around my upper legs, which is great for me. Lower cuffs are kind of tight, maybe slightly short, but I'm actually coming around to thinking that's pretty great because I wear a crew sock anyway. Not that it's that high, but I do wear a crew sock or at least a quarter sock, and as long as there's nothing exposed, it's gonna be fine. And they feel great. Man, again, I got a size small here, and I'm a 30-inch waist, almost exactly, so they're working perfect. It's actually probably, you can get a little, maybe an inch more in the waist and still go with this, but again, if you have longer legs, it's gonna be on the shorter side. Depends on how you like your running pants to hit at the ankle or fit in the upper area. Well, let's do the outro today with a view. Being that the weather's so nice, instead of looking at my face talk for some more. So I'm not sure if this is a full review of the Xplor Pro. I wanted to give just really the details on that lacing and how it really made this shoe work for me. Now that that is, working so well, I'm definitely gonna run in the shoe more than I had planned to initially. So you'll probably hear about it more in the future, maybe some comparisons if you're interested. It's just a solid mileage hog. I think technical capability is gonna vary just because it's a heavier shoe and it's gonna depend on, I think maybe your size as a runner. If you're a bigger runner, it's probably gonna feel more agile than it does for me. I feel like it's just kind of a lot to pick up and put down on the trails. It depends also on how fast you are running, but it is a smooth cruiser for sure. It's gonna be highly durable. Price point of $170. I expect you will get a lot of mileage out of this shoe. Outsole, Vittoria rubber, midsole, talked about it feeling pretty durable, and I don't see any issues with the upper. Might want to change the laces though. They feel a little thin, but that's up to you. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you considering this shoe? Do you already have it? How is it working out for you? You have the Nordlight Ultra Pro. What do you think of that shoe? Is this potentially a decent 1-2 training racing combo? It's kind of how I could look at it, although I probably want to put more training miles even in the Ultra Pro myself. But I think this could be a kind of cruisy, durable companion to save the mileage, save the foam in the Ultra Pro for race day. Thank you for watching once again. Check out my link below to TheFeed.com. Just try some random stuff out. Save 10%. They got good deals over there, so nothing specific in this one. More to come with the Mountain Racer waist pack here from UltrAspire. You will also see these rabbit runners a lot more in my videos, especially with the fall and colder temperatures landing on us now. Like and subscribe, it does help. Please read through the description if you have a few moments. Affiliate links are in there, links to related content. I put stuff specific to the video that I'm filming in there, so it's not always the same videos that I link down there. So I might think something is interesting and might be interesting to you too, so check out the description. I'll see you out on the trails in the next one.